Hey, what's up, guys? Teacher Keith here. This is my fifth installment in the ongoing series of Chinese mythology. We are talking about the story of Lady Meng Jiang. Okay, so without further ado, let's roll this story out. Okay, here we go. Uh, the legend developed into many variations in both form and content, with different versions emphasizing different elements of the story, such as Meng Jiangnu's marriage, her relationship with her parents-in-law, and the journey to the wall, her grief. Lady Meng Bianwen Dunhuang uh, later, fully developed forms of the legend take place in the Qin dynasty. The seeds of the tale lie in the simple anecdote in the Zhuozuan, a chronicle of the far earlier spring and autumn period. The anecdote says that after a warrior of the state of Qi, Qi Liang, was killed in battle, his lord Duke Zhuang met Qi Liang's wife on the road and asked his servant to convey his condolences to her. Qi Liang's wife replied that she could not receive condolences on the road, and Duke Zhuang visited her at home and left only when the proper ceremonies had been completed. In the Han Dynasty, the Confucian soldier Liu Shang expanded this anecdote both in his Garden of Stories, Shuo Yuan, an anthology, and in his biographies of exemplary women, Lie Nu Zhuan, which was meant to show proper behavior for women. In this version, the woman whose family is not mentioned is still called simply Qi Liang's wife and given no other name. The story explained that when her husband died, she had no children, nor any relatives, and had no place to return to. She wailed over the corpse of her husband at the foot of the city wall, and the sincerity of her grief was such that none of the passerbys was not moved to tears. 10 days later, the wall toppled down. After her husband's burial was properly carried out, she said, "Now I have no father, no husband, no son. All I can do is die." Wow. The woman was not called Lady Meng until the Tang Dynasty, when the bare exemplary anecdote was expanded with many new details. The years of wars and regional wall building leading up to the founding of the dynasty concludes author Waldron's history of the Great Wall, revived memories of the first emperor on his wall. These fresh memories and the stereotype themes of suffering in the Tang Dynasty poetry were combined with the story of Qi Liang's wife to make a new set of stories, which were now set in the Qin Dynasty. In one version, Qi Liang flees the hardship of labor on the Great Wall in the north and enters the Meng family garden to hide in a tree and sees the young lady bathing. He at first refuses her demand that she be his wife, saying that such a well-born woman cannot marry a conscript. Wow. But she replies a woman's body cannot be seen by more than one man. In another version, they make love before going to see her parents. The other essential character of the fully developed legend, the first emperor, does not join her until the versions produced in the Song Dynasty, when he had become a stock villain. It was not until the Ming Dynasty, however, when the Great Wall, as we know it, was constructed, that the Great Wall is named as the wall in the story, and that Lady Meng is said to have committed suicide by throwing herself from it into the ocean, in spite of the fact there is no place at that point from which she could throw herself. Okay, popular versions only at this point tell the reader that this story happened during the reign of the wicked, unjust Emperor Qin Shi Huangdi, who decided to build a wall to keep the barbarians from invading his kingdom, but the wall kept disintegrating, and the construction made little progress. A clever scholar told the emperor, "Your method of building the wall is making the whole country tremble and will cause many revolts to break out. I have heard of a man called Wan Shiliang, since the name Wan means 10,000, you need only fetch this one man." The emperor was delighted and sent for Wan, but Wan heard of the danger and ran away. In the form which came to be most common after suffering pain and exhaustion, laboring on the Great Wall, Wan Shiliang died. When winter came, Lady Meng Jiang had heard no news and insisted on taking winter garments to her husband. Over her parents' objections and paying no attention to her own fatigue, she traveled over mountains and rivers to arrive at the Great Wall, only to find that her husband had died. She collapsed in tears. She did not know how to identify her husband's bones and cried until the wall collapsed and exposed a pile of human bones. She still could not identify her husband's remains, so she pricked her finger and prayed that her blood would penetrate only her husband's bones. When the emperor heard of Lady Meng, he had her brought before him. Her beauty so struck him that he decided to marry her. She agreed only on 3 conditions. First, a festival of 49 days should be held in her husband's honor. Second, the emperor and all his officials should be present at the burial. And third, he should build a terrace 49 feet tall on the bank of the river, where she would make a sacrificial offering to her husband. After these 3 conditions were met, she would marry the emperor. Qin Shi Huangdi granted her requests at once. When all was ready, she climbed the terrace and began to curse the emperor and denounce his cruelty and wickedness. When she had finished, she leapt into the river and drowned herself. Okay, so there you have it. That is my 5th installment in the ongoing series of Chinese mythology. All right, so do me a favor, like and smash me a subscribe, and I will be looking looking forward to seeing you in the next lesson. 再见，再见。